a legendary team and a legendary brand in Dota 2 win the championship. 12 months on, they're a very different team, but they are back by invite this time, of course, as the reigning champions. They go up in our next game against paiN Gaming, and this could be a tough match for them. They do need a win, though, if they're going to try and get out of the group stages. Our panel members are back once more. Jack, we'll start with you. On paper, most people go, yeah, IG should win. This is a game they have to win. But actually, I'm not so sure that it's favoured in their way. I think maybe paiN are slight favourites here.
Yeah, if you're going by 0-4 teams, I think the feel of how paiN has played is very different from the fact that they've been competitive in all of their games. They've played well against good competition. They usually lane pretty well, but then something often falls apart in the mid game. But they've been quite competitive.
If games ended at 20 minutes, they'd be 4-0 right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if they had come in with like a 2-2 or something like that coming into this series. So,
yeah. Is that difficult to swallow for the reigning champions?
Times have changed.
Yeah.
It's not the same team. I mean, they have 3 of the 5 originally, but a lot of people say that they are a one-patch team. They can only play in a certain way. I mean, it's so far been proven true, you know, like even in the games that they won yesterday, they weren't clean. They had a lot of issues. I mean, I'm with you. I think paiN is definitely maybe even actually the favorites on paper, even though they are new N4.
Okay. What are the Chinese saying, Jack, about IG?
Well, the irony is that OP was supposed to be when he was good, when the patch favored him or his heroes, he was quite good. Obviously, you remember like the medic Lina, the Royal Guard Lina, the Tinker that teams were respect banning like right away. But then ironically they switch him out, and then now XSS is playing mid, and it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't so simple to just pin that on OP, even though his hero pool they felt like was limiting the team for a little bit. And then you talk about Burning. Burning obviously like his stature cannot be disputed in Chinese Dota, but of course he was getting on in years as well. So you're saying, hey, you can get a younger carry player, hungrier carry player to come in, and maybe he can do a good part of what Burning did. And clearly like fit and stuff matters, and this team has just not looked as good this season, and they've had to make these recent changes as well because they brought in Yang first instead of Burning. So I mean, instead of aggressive, and now it's aggressive coming in. But yeah, this team has not been able to live up to their kind of pedigree and prestige this season at all.
And a lot of people are lost sometimes. They think that individuals play far more of a role in a team than like the actual team itself. And you've seen that with a lot of like roster changes. You'll use like OG and Resolution as an example, where a lot of people look at that team and think, isn't Resolution the best player? And you just really don't know what's happening within a team environment, and you don't know why decisions are made, because at the end of the day, like, it's really a team, and what fits the team is usually going to be best.
The team composition is very, very important.
And how the players complement one another, who plays what heroes. It's why you shouldn't. Like, I'll use like the DC example, right? They finished second at TI and then changed their offlaner, and
that's because you stole him.
Hey, it was more like picked him up. It's like
rescued him from the fire.
It's like he got fired, and I showed up driving this like beat up jalopy. Like, hey man,
do you need a lift?
Yeah, you need a job. You doing okay? And then rest moved on.
5 seconds remaining.
All right, well, we're going to move on because the draft is up and running. I did want to talk to you just while we get these first picks, Carl, about paiN Gaming. We talked about them a lot over the season because they seem to be this really cool team, got some great players in there. They're obviously very feisty. South American Dota, it's all fun and showy and dropping items in front of people and all kind of crazy stuff. Really good to watch, but they need some direction somehow. It's like the first 20 minutes, they look like a great team. And then after it, as Jack pointed out, they seem to fall apart. Do they need a coach? Do they need a Kyle to go to South America and look after them? All right, maybe that was a bit of a stretch. Or a winter.
Well,
Kyle, coach.
We're trying to make them better, not worse.
All right, okay. Do they need a coach? Do they need someone from the Western scene, as it were?
Possibly. It's more. I look at the games and like they didn't necessarily have the greatest showing in the mid to late game, but they were getting beaten by teams that should be better than they are. You shouldn't be able to go up against like VGJ Thunder and outmove them in like in the mid game, right? But that just kind of comes with time. And as they learn from these losses, if they are learning from the losses, they were quality. Like, I don't want to echo like the college football selection committee, but there is such a thing as like a quality loss, okay? And it's very different to be beaten by a team versus you just kind of lose.
Yeah.
And they really weren't. They haven't been losing. Like, they're not making like huge errors. They're just not necessarily capitalizing on the windows they have to win the game.
Yep.
And that's what you got to do if you want to be great.
Okay.
I like that comparison. I talk about strength of schedule and stuff with you all day if you want when it comes to the standings.
Let's not go down basketball roads. Otherwise, we'll be here all day.
But that was a good point, Paul, because you've seen some teams, I would say TNC was probably an example of this. Again, very skilled mechanical players from a region with great core players. And then at first, they brought in Demon, I think, for his previous TI, and then 1437 this past year. A guy who they hadn't even met before or played with before comes in here, captain the team, and then they had pretty good, steady results throughout that year. And so sometimes that is kind of the missing piece. There's just so much experience and knowledge that people have accrued over the years that really helps these guys out when these concepts come together.
Yep. When you talk about the composition, you need old and new on the same team to make it work.
It's like a panel.
Yeah, Paul.
We've got the old with me and Kyle, and we've got the young with you two.
I'm pretty sure Winter's
I think I'm older than Kyle.
Really?
I think Jack is
I'm also
too.
pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm the youth here.
You're the youth here?
Yeah,
I'm confused and blinded by your tie. I think that's why.
I have the most experience too, so it's a little confusing,
Yeah, that's true.
5 seconds remaining.
That's all. There's no quip.
Well, I mean, I could talk about the fact that you've stolen your tie from God's Nan's curtains.
This is a great tie. In fact, you're
Turn to ban.
Careful now.
Yeah. Somebody close to you picked this out.
Okay, then I should say no more. Let's get to the draft right now. There are 2 picks on either side.
Oh, Dota is actually saving Paul now.
Yeah.
Dota saves me a lot. Does save me a lot.
Ench Sand King is the response to the OmniNet opener. We were just talking about how the hero's fallen off.
Turn to ban.
I just want to see one today.
I think eventually you're gonna see one. Eventually.
Yeah, but we might have to wait till the main event. I don't want to see one today, Winter. I'm impatient. I want to see a Pango.
I want to see a good Pango. So
Yeah, I want to see a good Pango. Yeah, you're right. We don't want to see a bad Pango. Not straight away because no one else will pick one. But they're like, that hero's trash.
If that's what you want to do, we shouldn't see one in this game. Wait for some later ones.
So what's I believe IG's 1 and 3. So right. So these two are with effect very likely kind of being the first one out. These two are kind of trying to avoid that last spot. So this game does have pretty big implications for staying alive in this tournament.
Does a lot.
I mean, the Sand King Enchantress, would you say it's like similar to what Liquid did yesterday? They had a Night Stalker Enchantress, a Tusk Enchantress. You want to have that pressure, even though they lost the lane, like in the Tusk Enchantress game. But that's what you're supposed to do in this kind of openings.
Yeah, I like it a lot more with Night Stalker, to be fair. I think Enchantress utilizes
you like
vision
Night
really
Stalker
well.
more than Sand King?
Yeah. Viper, I'm not a fan of that pick. I think Witch Doctor is one of the best heroes against Viper as far as 5 supports go.
Why would you pick it into the Witch?
I just like the hero. I mean, to go off of what Liquid was doing, this is pretty similar. Same with EG. They both.
I guess you just ignore what the other team picked.
Yeah, a lot of people value Viper higher than I think I do. I just don't see it as this hero you can just pick. I think you need to have a reason for it, and I'm just not a huge fan when it's this early because.
I mean, is this a mid Viper for arms?
Remember when we were talking about paiN? I mentioned that they get affected by other people. Remember that when they lost to who was Liquid, they were trying to pick some of their heroes. They were trying to.
I think they picked all 5 players had one of their top 2 most picked heroes in the last 3 months in that game, just because they were like, look, we need to just play comfort stuff.
Yeah,
that didn't work.
That didn't work, and they started to try and apply other stuff where it might not be the best for them. It might not be good for the way that the team is playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like Viper's been picked a decent amount against, or at least by some teams as well. And kind of like the hybrid damage output. You have the ult that pierces the repel as well. Hold someone in place.
But I remember, Carl, you mentioned that you don't really like Viper getting a helm. You prefer him going for like the normal damage build.
You can get a helm, but I think it's better if someone else in your team is getting it for you. And I mean Viper can. I just don't like when people go like this helm force staff, and you just kind of slow yourself down. So like really.
So you kind of want him to scale more.
Yeah, even if it's just little things. I like Viper because you can buy a bunch of cheap items, and I wouldn't mind when you go, maybe like Aquila into HOD, into drums, maybe a Sanjanyasha, maybe then the Pike, whatever you want. But I like when people get this, like drums or Sanjanyasha.
What do you think about the
that makes
Ags,
them stronger?
What do you think about the Ags on this hero?
The Ags build's good with the talent. but you only really pick that if you have like some other hero dealing base damage. But if you look at paiN's lineup, now the Viper is going to be the one that really is looking to siege, unless they last pick. I mean, their last pick is going to be some carry type hero, of course.
Some Arc Warden.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Could be. Weirdly, of all of the heroes that have been picked more than 5 times at this tournament, Viper currently has the best win rate of all at 83%.
Oh, there you go. That's so he's what, 5-1?
5-1, yeah.
I mean, the hero is strong mostly when he goes mid and has a favorable matchup, or just sort of limits the enemy team's draft.
Is this a favorable matchup?
I think it goes either way. It depends on who gets help. It's one of those cool matchups nowadays where it's all about snowballing, and both heroes rely on their survivability. And if one falls behind, gets ganked a couple times, all of a sudden they're useless. And we saw this, I watched a game in the NA qualifiers where there was this paiN morphling middle from Optic and Fear playing a Viper, just getting enfeebled over and over. All of a sudden he's like 8 CS at 8 minutes, and he's not a Viper anymore. You just kill him and his strength disappears. And it's the same with his matchup against Viper TP, where they both will survive, but if they get to a point where they're super behind, they get punished really hard in the lane, and then all of a sudden they're a creep.
I mean, there was a game here. Fear was on Viper, but he was playing against a Tusk, and he got like ganked so many times in the early game, and he felt so weak.
Razor, I think DP is a better matchup, or rather a better matchup for Viper. So you can actually crush a Death Prophet if you outlane him in the first 2 waves. I wouldn't mind seeing Disruptor like start mid just to help, because if you can get the Drain force, the Fairy Fire, something like that.
Yeah, that actually sounds
Once
really
you
good.
force the salve, Viper can harass DP really hard, and if you get that Wraith Band advantage, like you just crush the lane.
So you want to like last pick like a carry that doesn't need help, so that you can do that, because the Sand King wants to be with the Ench to pressure.
Yeah, it's got to match up with the Omni Knight too. So there's something like
Lone
there's a
Druid.
morph they got rid of. There's still Luna potentially available, and you know the Earth Spear is going to be mid as well. So you probably will have to send some help over.
Yeah, they have a lot of options for their last pick. You want to see what carry IG is going to pick. You need to keep in mind you're going to be playing against Repel. They need... What do they need? They banned all the illusion heroes, so that's really just to protect their Viper pick still, I believe. Lone Druid wouldn't be bad. I like that hero a lot, especially with this new HOD build into Radiant that Envy popularized. I think it's really strong, and you hit this crazy item timing, both at like 6 to 8 minutes, and then also the Radiance.
They're just kind of dared to take the gyro here, which is still available.
They're probably like Gyro or Luna.
Yeah.
I like Lycan a lot right now.
Lycan's pretty good too.
They're not a Lycan team though. That's the problem.
Doesn't Aggressive play Lycan? But in the past, he does play the hero, but not in this team.
It's true.
I mean, for paiN, IG can.
paiN definitely aren't a Lycan team. That's for sure.
I could see a PA, but I hate that against Viper. You get broken. I think it could be a CK maybe. Dragon Knight. Okay. It's really poor matchup against the Viper Ench, but if you look at the paiN lineup, very limited damage output. And if you...
Do you put the DP in the safe lane and the DK against Viper?
I think you do. I think it's the safest option, because you can't really outlane a Dragon Knight.
10 seconds remaining.
You can't really... you can't really outlane a Viper, and you're
5
threatened a lot
seconds
more.
remaining.
Whereas DK, you just sit there.
Yeah, he's actually surprisingly durable.
I mean, we
against
saw a game where DK out CS the Viper. Oh, it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's possible just because of the Quelling Blade advantage. It's really hard to get outlasted when you're hitting for like a bonus 30 damage when he tries to deny on you. And it's just, it makes their draft, like, look, whenever you have an Omni team, I think you really want tanky course, and that's what they've got. And there's a Luna, as you predicted. Really concerned for paiN's draft just because they have such limited damage output. They need to get a Roche at some point, and they're going to need like 3 items on Luna before their draft gets really scary. And I feel like IG is so much better in the laning phase early game into the mid-game transition, and they'll be able to get towers first, and it's just easier timings for them.
But it's paiN though. paiN is really good in the early game.
Will they bring the paiN?
I think they will. So I'm with paiN.
You're always paiN. You always paiN before the draft. Has the draft not persuaded you that that's slightly harder for them to win this game?
Yeah, I think so, but still they have the issue with the mid game where they don't make very good decisions sometimes, or they misunderstand that, oh, this is our strong timing, we should fight, and they are farming, and they lose the timing. But I kind of hope they learn from the previous 4 losses, you know?
Okay, well, let's hope they have. Jack?
I'm a bit more optimistic on IG this game. I think they ball and just run over paiN at some point this game.
Draft permitting. Yeah, okay.
I agree with Jack. And I would not agree with Winter's predictions until he manages to get one correct.
I did get one correct.
Did you get one correct?
EG against Effect.
Oh, you got EG. So I've learned from
count.
Jack, the best way of doing this is just always
Come on,
back LGD.
I got 2 correct with LGD, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
in total, there's 4, or
Okay.
maybe 3.
All right. Not an entirely convincing analyst set of predictions, although on either side they're both convinced that both teams are going to win. That can't happen, of course, as we head into this game. It's a very big game for both teams at the bottom of their group. Who's going to pick up the win? Let's find out with Cap and Blitz.
That's right. There are 3 teams that are definitely separated from the rest in their group, one of which we just watched lose again. That was Effect. They are now 0-5. The other 2 are going to be the teams we're watching here, paiN Gaming and IG. IG, of course, 1-3. paiN yet to get a win, are 0-4. Don't want to be joining Effect in the 0-5 club.
Yeah, a win here would get them some confidence. They would keep IG at 1 win as well. It's not the worst of situations.
What do you think about drafts? Because we did have a split panel. We had 2
Who went for what?
2 ex-pro players
Okay.
divided. Swindles went for IG, agreeing with Jack in that they are just going to ball up and roll over paiN Gaming at some point. And Tavo is dead. Which Winter
I'm going to go with
for.
IG.
Let's check out. But Script, can you pull up that win prediction? Does it already calculate win probability? Apparently, it started off with IG at 100% before the game even really started.
That's rough.
But now they have a very slight lead.
Oh, King RD.
All right.
You're dead too.
You died for the bounty rune.
Haven't we stopped this? Remember when people would go in for bounty runes and just die?
And be like, worth.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, well, now. Now it's all the way down to like 55%.
Okay.
King RD, what'd you do? You are 4% of the problem right now.
We can mathematically add this up. Nahaz is quite happy about this, as ARMS is going to get right-clicked a little bit. We talked about the issues, by the way, on the other stream yesterday that Earthspirit has in Dota, is that before in the past, you would hit that Viper like 6 times. But now, because the tower is so close, if you look at the ring of like where it starts to hit you from, you can barely go up the high ground. So if you're not rolling in for a kill, feels pretty bad.
King RD, great body blocking on Q, and they are going to be able to take that kill, getting the first one of their team. So the aggro dual lane seems to be starting off pretty well for the Enchantress. They have a DK in that safe lane. Meanwhile, the roll in to the bottom lane, as well as the Viper, really harassing that Death Prophet. Duster may be dead, though, being run down by Bobica right now, thanks to the Orb of Venom. Needs some help, and apparently doesn't need it at all. Omni-Knight not going to cut him off. HFN is going to get rolled on as well. Kick back into SRF, and they're going to get a lot of damage out of this one. They might just be able to kill him. Look at HFN. He is struggling right now and gets popped by the Purification. What a play from Bobica.
Nice kick. That was sick. But this top lane, I think the Enchantress is finding it, right? Once she gets a level of untouchable, shouldn't be easy for her to die. And King RD is making sure of that. If you're going to win a lane, it's Bobica.
Duster
again.
Dodges that roll in, but now he has to run the other direction, and SRF is blocking him pretty heavily. Nice stun coming through. Duster trying to get through the kinetic field. He'll be okay now underneath the tower. Bobica is actually going to take the shots away from the Omni-Knight. Deeper into the trees he goes. Duster has the help of King RD, but they're not going to be able to get the kill on the Omni-Knight. So this giant creep wave will finally be collected by the Luna. They'll get some experience for their lane. Meanwhile, mid died. Apparently a Viper just died to a Death Prophet, which our panel said was supposed to be a little bit more favorable for the Viper.
Yeah, ARMS has not had the easiest tournament so far. Not a natural mid player, to my understanding. Like what I know this guy for back in pubs is playing Treant, but he's trying his best.
And Treant does not go mid.
Yeah, Treant is
so this is a very foreign lane to him. He doesn't know what the mid lane is all about.
Yeah, can't hate. He was a stand-in. Coming with the team here can't be easy, but has to be better in this matchup at least. Viper versus DP is one that should be winnable. Looks like he just overcommitted.
Yeah.
The DP with Spirit Siphon is very good at trading out. You've got to use the poison attack to kite a little bit more.
HFN standing his ground against this Omni Knight, but he has not a whole lot of HP to work with. Bo1 is going to be able to nail him again, but Kinetic Field. HFN getting a little bit too close to Bo1 there.
Still, they're getting a lot of harass at bottom lane.
HFN is going to try and dish it back out to the Earth Spirit while he runs away.
And we're just, again, looking at the regen war. This Luna is down to 2 tangos. Does have a wand, though. So the passive HP regen is not going to be bad for her at all. Is almost at full. Going to pop another tango. Should get to full HP with that.
Duster spots Bo1 for a second. Gets a shot on him. Now they roll in. Another miss. Claims the creep, at least. But
has a kick.
He's good. Oh, what a nice kick. Actually nails Duster in the back lines. Bo1 still going to be in trouble. HFN. Oh, they barely managed to kill him, but still, the Luna goes down. This means it's worth it for IG.
Yeah, IG's got to be really happy about this. They trade out the support for the core. They do this twice now as in mid lane.
Arms thinking that maybe XXS is low enough that he can go for the kill, but another Spirit Siphon. Now Arms is in trouble, going to be run down. Does have the magic wand, though. As well as the raindrop, he's okay.
Arms trying to do what he can right now to right this ship. Does almost get the kill, but XSS
being a level up on the Viper, huge advantage.
Yeah. He's got raindrops, though, which is quite nice. Like, you can't really buy raindrops against Viper or anything like that.
Yeah, that's
so that's what makes the harass even more effective. But at bottom lane, I'd imagine this is where they want to go next. SRF is having a relatively free lane. Being able to get a kill on him would be massive as King RD is pressing forward, but ultimately not going to find anything here.
Q picked up an Invis rune and is lying in wait. Ready to go for the paralyzing cask play onto Arms once he puts himself a little bit too far forward. XSS doesn't want to go for the kill with a creep wave on him, so Q will give up and head towards bottom lane. He's abandoned top just because he can't really do anything against the Enchantress, as you mentioned.
Yeah, what's a level 2 Witch Doctor supposed to do against that Ench, who's just got the Satyr Tormentor?
Do you agree with the lanes, by the way? The fact that the panel discussed they thought it would maybe be a side lane Death Prophet and the DK matched up against the Viper instead.
No, I think this is fine. I mean, it's clearly worked out.
Oh, Phase Boots! He picks up Phase Boots and immediately just runs at Duster. He does have Maledict on him, so he will tick out. So the aggro tri-lane now for IG, continuing to keep this Luna down. Well, I say that. Luna's actually doing okay in CS. Top of the board, in fact.
Yeah,
30
she's
and
fine.
5.
HFN's done a very good job.
Despite the fact that he died, he's still...
He's died twice.
He's died twice?
Yeah, he's died twice.
How do you die twice and they're still top CS?
I'd imagine because mid just keeps trading.
Yeah.
And the Dragon Knight is not having
King
the
RD
easiest
up
time.
into the high ground. It was a good idea, but now SRF is here to meet him. Just as King RD meets his fate. 2-7. IG are up, but not like despite being up by 5 kills here, soon to be 6 maybe. Duster doesn't get nailed by that roll-in from Bo1. Now, if anything, Bo1 is going to be the one in trouble. Has to turn around, Burrow Strike, and manage to get a really great paralyzing cast. And a heal! That's going to finish off HFN, and now a repel out. King RD is dead as well. Q with the double kill.
Dive.
Duster. Oh, okay, that opens up the trees for Duster to maybe escape, but SRF has phase boost, so really easy for him to chase these heroes down. All right, 2-10 now, and I was going to say the net worth lead was not that big for IG, but now it's over 1,000.
It's still manageable, though. Despite the score being 2-10 at 7 minutes, you would think there was at least like a 2-3K goal lead.
Yeah.
Effect versus EG was much closer in kills at this point, and they were up 3K. But this one is not bad because Tavo is absolutely dominating this top lane right now. It's up
He's
200
doing quite
gold.
well for himself. Both him and HFN really good CS.
He's going to force the Dragon Knight out of the lane. He's even going to keep this catapult alive. Going to do a lot of heavy damage right now on this tower. And HFN is going to rotate over. He is tired of what has happened at bottom lane. Like this rotation, if they grab the tier 1, simultaneously they're going to lose their tower, but that is somewhat expected considering how well this Omni Knight's doing right now.
Q. They thought they were going to try and defend this one. But Q will just give up his life. Aggressive is going to try and go for Tavo here. Pop the ultimate. Q is still not dead yet, thanks to SRF giving him the heal. The tier 1 tower is now dead. SRF has to throw a repel on himself, but that leaves the Dragon Knight completely exposed, and they're still going to be able to get the glimpse. Look at paiN trying to maximize the kill potential here. XXS is going to be here to stop this. Kinetic field out from Duster. He's really going to hold things in place. That is excellent. As long as the paralyzing cast doesn't slow him down too much, Tavo may get caught here. Duster's going to go for the TP out. Do they have a stun? They do. Aggressive was able to at least get them a support kill, but that's going to be it. paiN Gaming walk away relatively pain-free.
But very nice pickup for them onto this Omni Knight, who, when it comes to net worth, was ahead of the Luna by quite a bit, but after that sequence of events, it's going to even things up quite nicely here as King RD going to come to the top. Draw stun. Aggressive is just going to TP out, thinking that there might be an Enchantress nearby. There's in fact not. We, of course, know this, but he does not.
Yeah, Tavo's just chilling out in the bottom lane right now, trying to finish up his drums. HFN, as the Luna, is spending more time in top and spending some time with the neutrals as well.
Don't know if they send anybody, if they send the Luna, at least bottom anymore.
You feel like he's better protected in that top lane?
Yeah, since they already have that tower taken, it makes it even more difficult. I know it sounds like counterintuitive because the lane pushes in, and it seems safer for IG to farm that, but it's not because the dive is too easy. We talked about the vision advantage that you get naturally when you take that tower.
It's really easy for this Radiant to get control of that area, as you could see from that one ward they have placed around the shrine. Now, this ward will not protect you too much from a smoke rotation, which is currently coming from Bobica and Q. They're going to get it at a distance. HFN is not going to be hit by this one, but is going to be stunned before he can get off the Eclipse. Silenced up as well, and now I just don't think he's willing to pop it as he knows he's dead.
HFN with the well played.
Who do you think he's well playing?
I don't know.
Is this sarcastic well played at IG? Is this
like one of those like, you fools, you fell into my trap kind of death? Like Tavo's free farming.
Yeah. Or is he flaming one of his teammates saying, "Ah, you'll be fine. Just keep farming. You'll be fine. I'll protect you."
No, I don't think it's salty. You can't be in this position. They're still in this tournament. As crazy as that sounds. Like, being able to take down IG here would really right the ship. What?
Just the way you put that. paiN Gaming is still at this tournament in day 3 of the group stage. As amazing as that sounds.
No, because they're 0-4 right now.
Yeah.
Normally, if you're 0-4 in a tournament,
yeah.
I've seen tournaments where it's like you lose 2 games and you're just gone.
PGL Bucharest was you lose 3 best of ones.
Yeah,
and you're dead from the Swiss group stage.
Here
so
you have so many chances.
Yes, so there is no excuses. Maybe best of ones, but you face up against a lot of teams.
You have a lot of opportunities, and this would be a very good one. So no saltiness here.
Arms. Okay, a gank on a Viper. Let's see how well this goes, though. They're going to fully commit with XXS, throwing down the Exorcism. Tavo's going to try and save this one. He's trying to pressure him with a 2-man Burrow Strike. This is actually looking kind of okay if they could just kill XXS, but they can't do it. He managed to get a Purification onto him, and now the Spirit Siphon will continue to heal him up as he dives the Tier 2 tower and goes for the kill on Duster. Double kill for XXS. Now the send back, the silence onto the Sand King with Q, nailing the paralyzing cast, but another Burrow Strike. The Eclipse will be enough to finish off at least the Death Prophet. Bobica is going for the kill, and he gets it too. What a baller.
Sniped. Absolutely sniped. But Duster might get the revenge here. He's going to lay down the field. It's going to catch.
Okay, Duster. Don't let him escape. Actually, he has no escape. The roll-in is up now, but they still have vision of him. HFN. Oh, he only just got the nuke up, but Bobica got out of range.
Yeah. Decent sequence of events. They do grab the DP, which is huge for them. But, yeah. I mean, they're only, now the gold lead is 3,000, but if they could get this mid tower, this would help even things out at least a little bit more. IG, they've got to assemble for this. They do not want to give this tower up. King RD, though, going for the long wraparound. Going to run into the Witch Doctor.
But Omni Knight's behind the Witch Doctor. Purification heal will right that damage.
Yeah, without Bobica here, I don't know if King RD is killable. He should just
strike
get
up
out.
To the high ground, breaking the Spirit Siphon.
Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen here, as Bobica just is in mode farm.
You know, I know you said Earth Spirit not really comparable to a lot of the other 4-position supports right now, especially the Tusk. But Boba got Earth Spirit? I mean, there's a reason why his Earth Spirit is so feared. Potentially the best Earth Spirit in the world at one point in time. And he's putting on a pretty good show here for IG. They currently have a 3,000 gold lead, 4-16, and a smoke up.
Gonna make the long wrap. I like this. They want both teams want to try to grab the tier 1 towers. That's paiN. They're all waiting in the wings right now. They're anticipating this movement right now.
Oh no. They had wards spotting HFN farming. Couldn't get him, so instead they're going to go the wraparound on the tower here, trying to go for the kill. But here, oh no, the silence! It stopped the Burrow Strike Epicenter combination that was going to come in from King RD, but what a great static storm. Still, the damage is limited. Tavo's trying to get it on XXS right now, but he gets on top of the Enchantress with the Spirit Siphon. The Impetus shots can do nothing against him. And IG, again, just swarming over paiN Gaming time and time again.
That was going to be massive. I don't even know if XSS was necessarily going for
he hit a couple of other heroes. He may not have known about the same team.
King RD, that would have been a real saving grace ulti. They needed that. The damage, that might have been able to turn them back around. He was so quick on it, too, immediately when IG went in for that. But clutch moments like that are going to determine games. So we're going to see once again here. The stun comes out. He
may have spotted. Oh, I don't know.
I think he did see with the Omni. Well, regardless, that was really fast reaction time.
Yeah.
That was really quick from the Death Prophet.
And so far, Jack and Kyle are exactly right about what IG is going to be doing with this kind of strategy. They just ball up and roll over paiN Gaming time and time again. The glimpse back, though. paiN Gaming just unable to get these kills.
Yeah. And HFN, despite all of this happening, 1-4-2 is comfortably at the top of the net worth.
Yeah. Still, paiN Gaming, they look like they're getting crushed based on score, but that's absolutely not the case. Omni Knight in some trouble. They are going to Guardian Angel and heal him.
He's got Shadow Blade too.
He's kind of blocked in. Yeah, he's got Shadow Blade, so he should be able to walk away. XXS not going to be as lucky. Gets off the Oath Scepter as he comes back down, though. He may still be blown up by the Eclipse, and he does indeed die. Witch Doctor Q going to be stopped by a nice glimpse out from the Disruptor. What a big silence with the Maledict at play as well. HFN trying to get out of here is not going to be enough to do it. Q, he's going to be left to Tavo. Tavo, knowing that the rest of his allies are dead, just tries to get the one kill and get out. SRF almost dying to that Viper, but he'll walk away from that engagement as well. A 2-for-4 exchange in the favor of IG once again.
That almost looks so good for paiN.
Yeah.
It looked like they were just going to blow up the DP and the Omni Knight. Duster with the ulti just to stop the Omni from getting close. Very nicely played. But without the ring there on top of the Omni Knight, there's no follow-up. And even with the kill, can't really do much more than that. The Death Prophet falls a little bit further behind, but Aggressive is going to be the beneficiary of that action. As paiN, they're playing pretty well. They're continuing to try to make movements around the map. HFN is... I've got no idea how this guy... I think 7-22, and now he's got 5 deaths, and he's still just plugging away at that farm.
It really feels like it's a very interesting story, just because of the fact that if this was Evil Geniuses, we would expect this, right? Oh, they have a third of the kills, but you know they're still actually kind of okay in net worth. But paiN Gaming, not normally the ones you would expect to be able to do this, but HFN is just such a farming beast.
Yeah, no, he's got very good rotations for this, but he needs some more backup in his other 2 cores right now. Tavo is very strong.
Aggressive has a Shadow Blade, opens with a shot. Now that does allow this Enchantress to be able to get off the heal. That make the difference here, as the Maledict may not be enough damage, and yeah, Tavo looks pretty healthy. In fact, he wants to turn with the help of Arms. He does have more teammates rolling in as well. The supports are here. Tavo is going to give up on it, though, wants to defend his tier 1 tower, and in general just wants to be able to get more and more farm, as it seems like IG, their lineup is naturally going to be quite strong in a lot of these team fights, and you're going to need a lot of items on this Luna and this Enchantress to be able to cut these heroes down like the Death Prophet.
I really like that move, though, that paiN does. They force heroes down there. Like, paiN thinks that there's not going to be a fight, so HFN just immediately goes back to farming, but IG rotated a bunch of heroes thinking that there was going to be this like overwhelming response.
Now, what about IG What do they need to be doing next?
They just group up, probably go for a Roshan, grab all the tier 2s.
Their plays are a lot simpler,
Yeah.
right?
For paiN, they need a lot of farm right now on this Luna. Like, she has to get another major item, and then maybe they can take a fight. They're getting closer to being able to, though. Like, King RD has that Blink Dagger just completed. That's going to be massive for them. They haven't really had the best way to start a fight, is another problem for them. It's almost always them getting rolled on.
Aggressive coming in. Gets the stun on Tavo. They'll follow up with a silence. The send back on XXS will stall things a little bit. Tavo will have an opportunity to get off his heels. So this kill is not going to be so easy. The Witch Doctor ward makes it a lot easier, though, and the Purification Big Nuke is going to be enough. Now Duster going for the TP out. Oh my god, the double damage did a lot, but not quite enough, it seems. Duster will survive. The TP's back to base. IG rolling up as
it's
not
fine.
A full 5-man, but close enough to it.
Look what's happening right now. HFN is just hitting creeps. That's exactly what he needs to do in a game like this. His team is not quite ready to fight. They are not in fighting shape. He's taking advantage of the fact that they're able to, whenever they go for this 5-man, if they only kill one hero, I think he's kind of okay with that, just because of how much he's getting on the field.
Aggressive. TP's down to bottom lane trying to stop HFN, but by himself, not sure if he could do nearly enough damage in HFN. He'll easily live through this unless XXS can magically jump 1,000 feet to get on top of him.
He's just going to continue to farm, and right now, I mean, a lot of my focus right now is on this Luna because he's the hero to watch. Right? If anybody's going to pull them back from the 6K deficit, which is not that big of a deal, it's going to be HFN. Very impressive amount of farm, but you've got to do something with it at some point. Wonder what he goes for next. Curiously enough, he has a Windlace. Just casual Windlace. I don't see that very often.
I think he was probably going to go drums at one point and decided against it.
Maybe. But you shouldn't underestimate like how well he's doing.
Yeah.
He's 1,000 gold ahead of the next highest on the side.
That being said, he can do all he wants, and he's trying to do everything he can to be able to grind this game back in their favor, but it's still IG growing more and more of a gold lead. We've gone from 4 to now 6,000 gold lead. They've taken all the tier 1s. They got to start focusing on more objectives. It looks like XXS is going to go for a tier 2 at bottom lane with the help of his 3 compadres behind him.
Yeah, they need this Viper.
Whoa, that was a bit of a blunder. King RT. Not hitting the stun. Not that I think it matters. I don't think they would kill aggressive.
Oh, they need to get out of here. Arms is getting chased down right now. But we'll be out of harm's way as aggressive decides to instead just farm up these creeps.
It feels like aggressive, especially on IG, is trying to focus a little bit more on countering paiN and the way they're just shoving out some of these lanes.
Yeah.
He TP'd down to bottom to try and deal with the Luna. Now he's mid to try and push that lane in.
I'm going to just trade out side towers. Okay with this move from both teams. I mean, if you just read the movement of IG, it's going to be a little bit easier for them. Like, the game is more straightforward. So if you're IG at this point, just grab a BKB, grab a Roshan eventually, start running down lanes, pressure with your DP ult. You want to take fights on the enemy side of the map as often as possible.
And that's why paiN Gaming is dodging so much and trying to split push wherever they can.
They're trying to split push, create space for this Luna. That's why everyone's aggressively pushing out. Even if it means a potential death, they're willing to risk it because it continues to buy them a little bit of time.
So at what point do you think paiN is actually going to stand their ground and fight IG one of these times? They've got a BKB 4-stat that feels like a pretty big spike.
You can probably go with the Luna BKB.
Okay.
That's like a huge power spike right now.
IG do have a BKB of their own that they picked up at the same time, though, on aggressive.
If you're not going to fight with the Luna BKB, then you wait for the Viper one.
Okay.
But the problem is that Arms is so underfarmed. Like, this guy is getting out-farmed right now by, or he was for a second by Bobica. They might just pop Exorcism and walk in a Rosh. We talked about how the Roshan was going to be the next major objective, so they're going to try to look for fight Duster. That is a Dragon Knight with Repel on him.
So you can't really stop him. Everybody bails on Duster.
They should just go bottom right now and push that out as far as they can.
Yeah. That's what HFN is already doing.
IG's going to take Rosh.
Arms is doing it as well. Aggressive will touch up mid a little bit before joining his team back at the Roshan pit.
I mean, when you're Disruptor and your team's behind, this is how the game's going to look. Because you don't have any place to make.
Yeah.
But they're going to grab a tier 1 tower. It's the best case scenario for their team.
IG will start TPing back, though, as they finish up Roshan, hoping to... Well, they can't defend the tier 1.
They got to be careful. Dead. If they over TP like this, there's a decent chance that paiN sees this and...
I think one of these times they're finally going to say enough is enough with the DK kind of chasing them around the map and turn and kill him.
Yeah. And that's what they were thinking for a second, but...
Well, our Luna's net worth is... Her lead is beginning to grow over the 3 cores, but those 3 cores, their lead is growing over the rest of paiN.
Yeah. And that continues to be an issue for paiN, as once this Viper gets BKB, that's probably going to be the only item he gets before like the next major fight, and I don't even know if they can wait for that kind of timing.
They're going to smoke up here, and this is a good opportunity for paiN as the smoke breaks. Oh, no. Repel already goes out from Omni-Knight. Bo1's going to turn. Look at that. The blink in, clap, 2-man silence with the great ultimate on top. This damage over time should be enough to finish off both these heroes. What a sick Earth Spirit.
That was really nice by Bo1, but at the same time very disastrous from paiN, because that might just prompt the high ground push now. They've got Dragon Form. The DP has ult in 40 seconds. She's trying to be as min-maxy as possible and waiting with the Arcane Rune.
Yeah,
trying to get closer and closer. Yeah, get as close as you can to wait out your ulti, then use it. Try to
she
time
will not have
along.
her ultimate before all of paiN is up.
Yeah, but they're going to get good damage anyways. And without the threat of the Sand King Epicenter, I don't think they care. Nice stun.
Well, if they get a pick somewhere, good for staff, getting the Luna away, and now the Dragon Knight's going to get caught. Pops his BKB, runs away. SRF is glimpsed, but Repel is going to be able to save the day. Aggressive needs to try and keep himself away from these impetus shots.
And even with the BKB on the Dragon Knight, Tavo does so much damage to him.
Yeah.
That is their saving grace right now, and they're going to smoke up, look for an engagement. A big fan of this aggressive kind of play.
Yeah, they know the BKBs are down, right? Like, best to try and take advantage of that. Even with an 8,000 gold lead, can't actually use your Magic Immune item. That's a lot of the net worth that's just going to be wasted in this next team fight.
Yeah, they're going to run into maybe XSS.
Maybe it's not a team fight at all, but just a pick on a Death Prophet.
If they could get somebody here.
They will definitely...
Oh.
Maybe not definitely. Eul Scepter and sending back SRF. He does not repel himself. XXS perfectly fine.
He's so tanky. He's got 4 Spirit Siphon charges. He's got a BKB if he wants to use it. Didn't even have to use the active on the hood.
And he had an Aegis the entire time, so paiN Gaming didn't really want to commit. Sitting on the high ground right now. Just seeing if anybody from IG will stumble into a bad position. Now it's IG's turn to take the first step forward towards a team fight. They 4-man smoke up through mid.
They've got Exorcism now.
While the Death Prophet, curiously enough,
she gets stunned up. She's trying to show, like, on the other side of the map.
Okay.
To try to make it so that paiN isn't afraid of this movement.
A little bit of false confidence, and King RT runs into the smoke, instantly blinks back. He's not going to get caught, neither is Tavo.
Yeah. So, a saying is, like, you've got to risk something to set up kills in Dota.
And that's the risk that IG were making.
Yeah, it's like, you show a Death Prophet with an Aegis.
Yeah.
People think that you're going to be behind her.
Bo1, 80% kill participation in this game.
The crazy thing is, he's been farming a lot too. Like every single time I saw him, when they were supposed to defend mid, he was just hitting creeps. But I think they're okay with that because he's massive right now. He's barely behind the 2 cores on the side of paiN Gaming.
And if paiN are going to just keep on dodging you, you should try and be a little bit greedier, right?
Yeah.
So as a result, he's got a Blink Dagger and a Spirit Vessel. and is going to try and buy a gem. You can take away some vision from paiN.
SRF just pushing out this bottom wave. And they're just going to try to rate all their lanes before they make any sort of aggressive move.
He's trying to go for a halberd right now, so he can put that on HFN. See if he can get it before the BKB goes off.
King RD, just kind of, he's got his level 2 ult. That's probably the biggest jump for him in terms of damage. Level-wise, I don't think he's waiting for anything. He's probably wants the Force Staff at the very least, so that he can at least kite a little bit more.
So he's just gonna cut a creep wave real quickly.
And they just got to continue to delay. As HFN, he knows that there's no ward in this area because they have a ward of their own.
What's the deadline? Is there like... Because I kind of feel like IG, they're certainly ahead, up by 9,000 golds.
Yeah, I think they're just going to wait for the
Isn't the pressure
next
on them still to kind of go high ground?
I think they're just going to wait for the next rush.
Yeah.
Before they do any sort of play. Because they saw the way that Tavo hits them. Like, the high ground is still pretty scary from paiN, and if you overcommit, you get glimpse or something like that, you're going to reset the game and make it even longer anyways.
Yeah.
So you might as well just wait, be patient. I mean, that's...
Gather as much power as you can before you go for that final shove.
Like, even in this meta still, like, you can throw these kinds of leads. So they're trying to be as careful as possible, make sure that they have every single advantage. They got a BKB now, too, on this Viper. Like, Arms is kind of starting to get some farm, as HFN gonna run into this...
Glimpse attempted. Not going to land.
Now this Luna almost has an entire butterfly. Like, she's really farmed in this game.
An approach towards the tier 2. IG are doing the same right now. Oh, no. No, they're not. They're not going to do the same at all. Bo1 is going to TP into the trees. The pings go out from paiN Gaming. They know about this, and they actually managed to get a Force Staff away from the stun. Now the initiation comes in from aggressive onto the Viper. BKB activated from HFN, turning and fighting, but now that XXS is here, he's not feeling so comfortable with his engagement. With double BKBs popped, one of them's going to wear out. Nice use of the Viper Strike to be able to slow down that Death Prophet, and here comes that Epicenter, looking to be able to blow up Bo1. It's going to be close. Managed to get at least an Omni Knight repel out. SRF is going to be able to get himself away from that one, but still the Exorcism reigns supreme, and paiN, they're not going to be able to kite this well enough. It seems the Witch Doctor finally ends up going down, while XXS takes down 2. Aggressive, not going to die to Tavo here today. The Shadow Blade is going to be used to keep him out of this one, and Tavo slowly but surely will die. IG, the last bit of Exorcism fades away, but they win the team fight. paiN Gaming, very surprised that they tried to re-engage after it seemed like they got HFN out of there.
It looked okay for a second, but the biggest issue is that the Sand King... he dusts, but it felt like it was a little bit too late. The Glimmer Capes were way too effective. Like the Invis, they just kept engaging, re-engaging. SRF not going down when they did stun him up and get the Epicenter on him was massive as well. If you kill him there, then the fight becomes a lot harder for them. But like Omni pops his ult.
It felt like that Eclipse was useless too.
Yeah, everyone just BKB'd or was repelled and just ran at him. And that was a really nice GA by the Omni Knight. That just allowed everybody from IG to continue to get aggressive.
And there's that re-engage with the kind of a failed Static Storm Kinetic Field combination.
Oh, SRF, like, when he got Glimmered there...
Yeah,
and
he dodged the...
Yeah, if Tavo kills him there, then the fight is probably okay-ish.
Yeah.
But as a result, it is in fact not aggressive, they just kited like crazy with their Invis. And that's going to be a 14k lead now, but IG playing careful. These guys really don't want to blow it.
Completed Butterfly for the Luna as they 5-man smoke up and are going to be cutting off some of the heroes of IG. Jump in, Burrow Strike onto the Death Prophet. That's a huge pickup, and they will easily get it.
That is, if they go to Roshan right now, that'd be insane. Like if they could get an Aegis on this Luna, HFN has a Butterfly. She's quite strong. They should check right now.
Going.
There's no buyback on the Death Prophet either, because if I were IG, I would tell them to buy back instantly and take this engagement, because they have to know about this Roche.
So paiN probably know there is no buyback and are feeling comfortable with a 5 versus 4. King RD trying to find the initiation. Bobica just a little bit too quick, though, with that blink.
Yeah, and IG, their reluctance to take any sort of risk in this game is kind of going to bite them in the butt, as they might even find Q here. Glimpse.
Pulled back,
okay.
He's dead. Meanwhile, King RD needs some help from Arms. He'll get it too. He's taking out from the Spirit Vessel as well as the ultimate for the Earth Spirit. Bobica kills him and still gets away with murder.
And King RD wanted that fight. Was trying to be a little bit too over-aggressive. Thought that if he kills Bobica, they get the gem and another kill spree. But instead, the Earth Spirit reigns supreme. He's 7-1 and 18, level 18. That would have been quite the kill for them. Dragon Knight does finish up the AC and has the 150 GPM talent. So maybe anticipating a longer game as a result. And definitely after that, Roshan.
So it felt like the kind of the storyline that we were trying to set up like almost 15 minutes ago, where paiN is getting really big on their Luna, and even though that gold lead was looking so big for IG, it could have looked silly. It could have been just IG, close it out in one big team fight, go high ground, and boom, we never see the conclusion of the Luna getting big, but he definitely is there now.
Yeah,
and
HFN,
IG.
Look at his item queued up too. Trying to get the rapiers.
The initiation, aggressive. Force staff into the low ground, but he's still going to be nailed by aggressive.
Oh,
not going to be able to get off the cheese. Glimpse back onto XXS, doesn't pop his BKB. Duster is going to be found by Bobica, and Bobica still having the stun. He's going to use it now, but the TP from Duster will never have an opportunity to go out.
Yeah, and Arms' position, he was on the low ground in just such an awkward spot.
Yeah.
Couldn't be protected by the rest of his team. And positionally, he just gets abused there. They wanted to take that fight too on the side of paiN because they have this Aegis on the Luna.
Yeah. IG, they did use both of their big team fight / pushing ultimates for it. Exorcism and Dragon Knight ult are going to be down. So they're not going to be able to go high ground or anything like that, but they will get all the lanes shoved in. Aeon Disc is a nice choice here for this Death Prophet. See if he can survive through these Tavo, focusing him down the impetus shot. Or even just the magic burst damage if he gets burrow struck and is not able to pop his BKB. Eclipse could do a lot to him.
Yeah. They're going to grab this tier 2 tower at the very least with this Aegis. Cut the gold lead a little bit further. They might even continue to go as IG. They've got to get back. SRF has a TP, but this Luna is doing quite a bit of damage to the tower. Going to get stunned up.
All right, Spirit Siphon to lead the ways. What a great silence as well. They just are both going to die here. They have no Sand King, and Luna's going to come back. He's going to have to instantly pop the BKB in order to get out of this one. Aggressive couldn't get the stun off fast enough. Now the Eclipse turnaround onto XXS. He's got a Eul Scepter, though, and they really need to get out of here. Arm's going to be caught. The Paralyzing Cast bounces over to Tavo as well. The roll-in's not going to land, but Tavo may have been slowed down enough. They can still catch him. Bobica didn't have another stone, it seems, to be able to get the long roll. Aggressive is just going to turn on to Tavo. Tavo thought he was going to juke this one out. Help of the Disruptor, maybe? No, it's not going to happen. In Kinetic Field, he couldn't even get away from the stun in the first place. Bobica keeps on hunting, keeps on looking for more. While paiN Gaming getting really far ahead of themselves. They pushed for the tier 2, thought that was a success. Then trying to turn back in even after losing the Aegis and their Sand King like that.
Yeah, the Sand King going down. When he goes down in the fights first, you see that IG prioritize killing him because there's no re-engage tool for paiN. There's no way to disable. And so even when the BKBs are down on the side of IG, they're not feeling very threatened.
Epicenter initiation onto XXS. Now the Repel does wear out, but the BKB is going to be popped. So instead, he hit the Burst Strike onto the Omni Knight in the back lines, and Sand King instantly dies. So that initiation is ruined. They have to wait for Tavo. A glimpse back now. Repel's going to be there, as well as the BKB. Another one used by IG. I cannot believe they even tried to contest that mid-push, to be honest, without their best high ground defender in Tavo's Enchantress.
Yeah, without Tavo, none of those engagements are really going to go well for you. And IG, once again, are going to back out and reset things. Regen is popped on this Dragon Knight. Probably just wait a little bit longer, go for part 2.
Aggressive is trying to build into a Satanic, so is this Luna. It's interesting how these Dragonites have ended up becoming such influential later game cores. A combination of talents and item builds really allowing this hero to scale into the late game better than he used to.
Yeah, and HFN going to pick up the Invisor and run at SRF, but SRF, he is just going to pop his repel.
You just keep on trying that, Duster.
Yeah. King RD is the key here. Like, King RD has to be more effective in this game right now. 110-4. Like, his stun is more important right now than Duster continuously trying to use this glimpse to get people. But they're going to go for this bottom push. IG, I'd imagine they just go for the defense. They've been content with just playing defensively because they know that paiN are trying to get more active on the map right now. Going to lose the tier 2 tower, though.
Got the 40 strength on the Dragonite. Now, part of the reason that paiN is being so fearless, despite losing in lane of Rax recently, is that they have to take fights on IG's side of the map, right? Against Dragonite, Death Prophets, you can't afford to be stuck inside your base and allow them to use their pushing ultimates to take team fights against you.
Yeah, and they're going to hold the high ground here as DK going to
They just might find it too. King RD's on the high ground, does manage to get the Burrow Strike onto the Dragonite who's leading the way. Now he's broken for the time being, but does manage to get the BKB off Tavo. It's going to be their target here. They're trying to focus him down, but manage to get off the heal. Another Force Staff down to the low ground. XXS pop the Exorcism. They do manage to finish off Tavo. Now XXS, he's going to battle up against this Luna with the Guardian Angel already going out. This much of this damage is just going to be wasted. Arms might be able to get a kill on a Q. Witch Doctor's not that important. More important that the Luna survives and is fighting against this with the Satanic, is keeping himself alive for the time being. XXS Exorcism is beginning to do its toll, though, as HFN runs out of lifesteal, trying to finish off Bobica, gets off the stun just in time, and walks away from the engagement. Great use of the Hurricane Pike from HFN, though. Trying to stay ahead of all of these heroes, though. Don't think he really has it with a Butterfly. The action movement speed, again, Bobica nailing the hit, rolling in, finishing him off with a Yule Scepter in style just to make sure he stays alive. Beautiful play from this Earth Spirit.
That was absolutely sick from him in this entire team fight. And HFN trying to do his best in this engagement, but the rest of his cores just don't really deal damage. Tavo is the first target for them. And this time around, the Sand King stun, it does connect, but they just don't have the follow-up to really scare them. And IG, they're grouped up, but don't have the two supports with them. 4 heroes dead.
They may not have Exorcism, but they're still going to go for the push at the bottom lane, see if they can force out some buybacks. Now, I don't think paiN is going to be forced into it. Maybe HFN. Oh, he's actually going to blow it here. They're going to try and win this team fight real quickly. Now, BKB going to be activated. IG are just going to try and get out. Mass BKBs being used, including SRF, who's trying to help Aggressive stay alive. Aggressive is actually fighting through this one until he has to run away. There's too many heroes here now.
Oh, they need many
now
picks
Burrow
here.
Strike is going to be able to catch his Death Prophet. King RD immediately jumps forward, looking for more. He knows XXS is dead, especially with a Viper Strike on him. They're going to look for the extra kill. That's going to be on Q. He throws down the Death Ward, trying to fight through this one as well, looking for a single kill. Doesn't get it. 3 people die from IG as they force out the buyback from the Luna. Was that worth it for IG Blitz? Taking a tier 3 and forcing a buyback out of the Luna?
I think it's still kind of okay for IG. If you look at the gold lead change, despite getting 3 kills, 2 on cores, it's not that.
Okay, but what if we give Roshan?
Yeah, if you get the Roshan cheese and the refresher,
and it just came up.
You need to check
Somebody
it again.
go back into it. Go back in, you fools.
Somebody check it. This would be if you could get.
Because that would absolutely make it go to the favor of paiN, right? It pretty much undoes the buyback from HFN.
If you go for the Rapier, then things are. I mean, this is a reasonable change.
Yeah. So HFN is going to go for the high ground himself, nailing the tier 3. Takes down that tier 3. It becomes a whole lot harder for IG to have a chance to defend as those Glaives are going to start bouncing around. The buyback is out for the Dragonite. Aggressive Force Staff, putting the Luna in an awkward position, but King RD is going to try and interrupt here. Gets the stun onto Bobica, and now the BKB activated by HFN. What a great paralyzing cast, hitting 2 in the back line. paiN, Tavo, and HFN. Tavo's going to go. BKB teleport out. He knows he's safe, but HFN, he's pretty fast, but he doesn't have a TP scroll. He might just be spotted soon by SRF.
Yeah,
Force Staff a little bit forward. SRF is going to spot him soon. Gets a TP. HFN goes for the TP out. If Aggressive blinks in somewhere, no, he's not going to find it.
And that was a buyback forced only for Duster's life.
Also, Aggressive doesn't have blink.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Aggressive I think he buys back thinking that there's going to be an even bigger engagement, and there is not the worst sequence of events at all for paiN.
Yeah, now things are kind of even out, right? Both heroes, both have a carry with no buyback. One team fight may decide this game.
Yeah, IG though. Dust are dead. They're going to smoke, going to Roshan.
Oh, Lucians are pretty helpful here. King RT, blink for blink, trying to stay ahead of Bobica. Bobica's still going to roll in, nails him. Force staff, burrow strike, over to the high ground. Bobica's still going to keep up the pursuit, but it's HFN who's being pursued right now. Can't afford this stun. Aggressive's going to be able to find him with the nullifier as well. No chance to be able to pop the BKB. Paralyzing cast, Maledict, Death Ward, everything being thrown at HFN. Turning now, Satanic, activated, is going to be able to heal through a lot of this one, but stuck in the trees still. Can't really get out of this one. Halberd did it as well. He is dead. Up in the top lane, Arms is fighting through a Death Prophet ultimate. Will die to that as well. No buybacks around. Unless they can somehow kill XXS, they have to commit to this one. Static Storm throwing everything they can to be able to kill this Death Prophet. Tavo's got him, so they do manage to finish him off. But now it's going to be Tavo versus Aggressive with a whole lot of heroes behind Aggressive too. Tavo's BKB is going to wear out soon. They manage to get the stun down. Now the nullifier. The Enchantress is dead. Does have a buyback though. Bobica just rolled in. Miss Burrow Strike. A Yule Scepter. Buying him a little bit of time. Tier 4 is under siege right now from IG. A glimpse back onto Bobica. Holding him in with the kinetic fields, but not going to go for that kill. Tavo knows he has to deal with this pusher, and now here comes that Epicenter. A lot of magic damage plus the pure damage. Aggressive turning, but a Hurricane Pike forcing him back. Guardian Angel's not going to protect him against this pure damage, but a stun certainly will. That's why Bobica trying to deal with Tavo as best he can. A force step forward, straight to the death of Aggressive. He's going to be able to take him down and go straight for the throne. paiN have no defenders left, only supports, and that is the end of the game. IG, they were scared to close it out for so long against paiN Gaming. It almost cost them too, with Luna managing to get big, but in the moment, at the bitter end, they do fully commit to taking down that throne. Good call by Aggressive.
Yeah, they were extremely careful in that game. They left no avenue for them to get back into the game, but well done by IG. This is going to really secure things for them, leave paiN and Effect. There's like a 2-game lead now.
Yep. So there is going to have to be some sort of crazy things that happen in this group stage in order for either paiN or Effect to be able to take over. I think it's IG and maybe VGJ, who are the lower ones on the totem pole. But still, that is going to be the end of this best of one. We have a few more to go for the rest of the day, so we'll jump back to the panel, break down this 45-minute match.
Thank you very much, Cap. Yes, a much tougher road now ahead for paiN Gaming. They are 0-5 in this group. They need to win both their last two and hope the other two teams above them, which is IG and VGJ Thunder, to lose their last three. It's a big ask for them. Let's get some thoughts from our panel members, one of which did go for paiN Gaming in the middle of that, and you can probably guess which one of our three members went for it. You walked back with me, and you kind of said it just shows when you come to these events, it's about who makes less mistakes.
Yeah, they were like, I don't know, like not themselves. They were really nervous. They took a lot of like bad fights. And do they even have a mid player? I don't know, man. That game. How does Viper get trashed so badly in the lane? And we were sitting next to the Chinese casters. Oh, XXS actually finally found someone that's worse than him. That's what they told us.
Yeah, they're like reputation for among these teams at least being the worst mid players. Like, wow, someone that I can pick on all of a sudden. And it's a really tough game for the Viper. He got solo killed. I think the other problem with that is because the Earth Spirit, you expect him to be mid to try to win this lane. He was free entirely to be bottom and to kind of win that lane and pressure the Luna as well with the Omni Knight, and they get a mid win out of it too. So that was just a really rough start for paiN.
Yeah, Arms is coming for a bit of stick at this event, and it's rightly so, isn't it?
Maybe Arms is playing with his legs. I will say my only comment really on this game is that it feels like all of China, but specifically IG and Newbie, they're just playing so safe. I think IG is like the one that's most obvious. VGJ Thunder too, but yeah, they won this game, but you should never be in a position where, like, how many times have we seen this Rapier, Luna, or Gyro turn a game? And they're like this fight where Luna buys back, and then they fight, and then die, and now they have to buy back. Like, as soon as your cores buy back, you're one mistake away from a loss. And that shouldn't even be, that just shouldn't be a thing, ever. Like, you can't play that way consistently and win. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like you've got the game in hand.
It was too careful. It's like this game state should never have been reached where they're, again, within one set of buybacks of just losing the game. It felt like they were so slow to take objectives despite how the lanes went. Their death ball just took a while to get going. A couple times they just, when they have these like very time-sensitive ults going on the DK and Death Prophet, they're kind of just chasing like these support kills off, and then they go back to farming the jungler instead of just gathering to take more objectives. They didn't like really press their advantage at all, like you said. And yeah, that's the only thing that felt kind of slow for this. And you can see something that's something that would affect them against the better teams.
I mean, they were 20k ahead, but the Luna was hitting their high ground.
Yeah.
That's a huge tell. Something is wrong with the game.
Yep. I mean, again, it's like they won, but it's just, it doesn't feel good. I've won those sorts of games before where you've had control of the game for a long time. You make mistakes or you play too safe, and then it's like 30, 40 minutes later and you finally kill the throne. But it doesn't feel like you're in control. And, you know, you watch VP, EG, Secret, specifically VP, as they've just been crushing people, but they're always in control of the game. They're making the right decisions. Their item timings lead to immediate actions. Like, they play around their wards. It seems like there's a general sense of how do we play this game as a team, and then they execute it.
They have their foot on your throat. This last game, the EG game, was 28-21. The game felt much more one-sided. This one was 47-15, but it's like, well, you know, if this Rapier gets online, maybe paiN has a chance.
Yeah, it's legit, or like one guy feeds, you know? Like, it just, I just hate watching that. It's like, if you want to win LANs, you got to play to win. It's that simple. You got to actually take games and play like you want to win. Like, you can't just try to avoid loss. And I know you're smirking because you're going to say, hey, Kyle, how do you know anything about winning LANs?
You said it yourself.
I'm just staying quiet over here. The bad news for IG is that they've got EG and VGJ Thunder as their last two games, which they need to win one of them to be sure of going through. If they lose both of them, that opens the door back up to paiN again and Effect. But can you see either of them winning their last two games? You can't really, can you? So IG will go through to the playoffs.
I gave up after that game. I thought
you did. Have you given up everything or life predictions?
I thought paiN were like, they had a good showing in their previous events, like WSG. Then they were quite promising, but after that game, I felt like maybe winning a game is also too far-fetched for them.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for them. Their last two games, they've got Secret. They've got to beat Secret, because if they lose against Secret, that's it. They're done. And Effect is their other game. So
Secret might be like trying stuff. So I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. But they've got to win both of those last two, so that's a bit of an ask for them. Nevertheless, scoreboard from this particular game on screen right now. It makes good reading. If you're an IG fan, it's their best performance so far, but that's not saying an awful lot because it was still quite close, despite the fact that it was a 25k gold swing and a 46-14 kill scoreline as well.
Definitely not looking good.
It's just kind of, it's one of those games that's like painful to watch as an observer, because you're just like, okay, can this just get over with? And then you're like, oh, paiN might come up. Oh, nope, they're not. Oh, and it's just like you're going up and down, but it just feels like it's mostly on IG. As for their MVP, I think you got to give it to Aggressive, right? Just based on like the kill score alone.
8-2 and 28 for Baboka is the MVP for this particular game. Any arguments for that?
I think he was a big part of, again, where he chose to be was a big part of why the lanes went so well. He didn't really spend time mid trying to secure that lane at all. He went bottom. He figured, okay, Luna, you often pick it against the Omni Knight if the Omni Knight's alone, but if I'm in there too with the Omni behind me, I can play really aggressively and kind of win this lane. And he was all over the place bottom. I think when you just kind of destroy a tri lane like that, then that makes things a lot easier for your team. So I can see why Boboka would get the MVP for this. And then later on with some of the chases, just like hunting people down, like, you know, he did his thing. This was his signature hero before last year's DAC and the whole Monkey King and Ricky and all that. Like, he was a really good Earth Spirit player for a while. So
overall, though, Carl, not impressive from either team, was it?
No. I mean, I look at things a bit differently, and I think, okay, can these guys win the LAN? The same evaluating players to play with. It's like, okay, can these guys win? You know, not just get to like this point, but do they have the potential to be tier 1? And I look at IG playing, and I see the chances of them repeating as champions at DAC 2018 to be virtually non-existent.
And that's not a surprise. You don't even mind if it's high quality Dota. it's good, you can enjoy it, and it's you know, interesting. But that just wasn't good, was it?
It was just a battle of, you know, who plays worse.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I think that you summed it up perfectly when we walked back. It's a battle of who makes less mistakes in a game, which is not how you want to win a game, is it really? Okay, we're going to move on. I think it's probably time to move on quite swiftly as well. The next matchup, however, should feature some high-quality Dota 2 because Virtus Pro are back at it again. They're 4-0 so far. They go head-to-head with VGJ Thunder. It's coming up next.